Hi friends, Sarah here with the Holy Mess and Faithful Finish Lines, and in this video I am going to walk you through the steps of how to give up a diet soda addiction. Are you addicted to diet soda? Well, for years and years of my life, I was seriously addicted. I loved my Diet Coke. I had Diet Coke every single day, and it had to be out of the bottle, not a can, unless it was from a fountain. Fountain was my favorite. And then if I couldn't get a fountain drink, like from the gas station or McDonald's was my favorite fast food. Don't ask me why, but their Diet Coke tastes better. Then I would have a bottle, and if I had to, I'd have it out of a can, and if I really had to, I'd have it out of a 2-liter, but that wasn't my favorite at all. And I love Diet Dr. Pepper, and I would get Sonic, Route 44, that's their big jumbo size, I call that the bladder buster, on a regular basis. And I know I had read and heard all of the different things about how diet soda isn't good for you, diet soda can make you gain weight, but you know, I didn't really believe it because I lost over 100 pounds and maintained it for a really long time, always drinking Diet Coke. I drank all of that pop the whole entire time I was losing weight, and I drank it while I was maintaining my weight, and I just really didn't think that it affected me. And during that time, I was tracking my food or calories almost all of the time, not during some of the years that I was maintaining, but for a good majority of that. And so I knew how much I was eating, and I really didn't think that the Diet Coke affected me. So what happened for me that made a change is that after I'd been maintaining my weight loss for about 14 years, I got a little brave and started making some shifts because while I had lost 100 pounds and I was close to my goal weight, I ended up kind of landing about 20 pounds away, 20 pounds heavier than my goal weight, or what Weight Watchers would say or a chart would say is my goal weight, which is okay. I was still very happy with where I was. My health was great. I was doing triathlon and taekwondo. I have my black belt, very fit person, but decided that I wanted to see if I could lose more weight. And in the past, I had tried many times. I tried all kinds of things. I tried doing keto for a while. I did a Whole30. I switched from points to calories to both. I tried low carb. I tried different things within that weight loss, just giving it a shot to see if I could lose additional weight. But this last year, I made some other changes, which I talk about in another video and on a blog post of how I broke a 15-year plateau, and I was able to get to my goal weight. So I am now at my goal weight, which is 140 pounds, and I have been here for close to a year. And I am maintaining that now. So one of the changes that I made is I started getting an idea in my head, well, what if artificial sweetener is affecting me in ways that maybe I just don't even realize? And again, keep in mind, I've been drinking this all through my weight loss, so I was pretty skeptical. But at this point, in breaking this plateau, I learned that I had to be willing to try some different things that maybe I had never tried before. So I decided that I would give up artificial sweetener for 30 days. And I had given up diet soda before for a couple months at a time, and it didn't really affect me, but I was having artificial sweetener in other things, and it's actually in quite a few things. So I decided for 30 days I was absolutely going to give up all artificial sweetener, and if it didn't cause any difference for me, then I would say, okay, I can finally say that this, really doesn't affect me. So that meant no gum. That meant no sugar-free gum, and so I just did no gum. No pop, of course, obviously, and I'm from Illinois. We called it pop there. No, the soda, the pop. No artificially sweetened foods. So like I would have like a Dan Light Fit yogurt because that was only 2 points on Weight Watchers, really low calorie, or maybe I'd have some desserts that were sugar-free, like sugar-free pudding or something like that. I was using Premier Protein as the coffee creamer substitute because it's, again, really low in points and calories. I had to give that up. Really almost all protein powders have some type of artificial sweetener. Of course, all of the bars and things like that, protein bars. And I also gave up all natural artificial sweeteners for that 30 days. So that's stevia, monk fruit fruit extract. And my reason for that is I was really trying to test if the sweeteners affected my appetite. And I feel like some of the artificial sweeteners, even if they're more natural, you're not taking in calories. And so that can create that confusion in the brain. So I want to test it out. So for 30 days, I did not have any pop, of course, and I didn't have any artificial sweetener. Well, it had a big impact. Within just a couple weeks, I lost 9 pounds. 9 pounds. Now, for me, being that close to my goal weight, that's huge. That's a huge amount of weight. So some of that could have been fluid, fluid changes because of the sodium in the pop or something like that, or maybe the artificial sweetener itself. But I do think it was affecting my appetite. And I think it was in subtle ways. So my points or even tracking calories still looked relatively the same, but it might be like an extra handful of strawberries here, or a few raspberries there, or an extra squirt of barbecue sauce, or just a few more bites of potato at dinner. So they were small enough that it wasn't really something that I would have noticed with tracking, but my body was keeping track. I like to say, even if you're not keeping track of your calories, your body is. So after the 30 days, it was like, oh no, now what am I going to do? This actually worked. I had a decision to make. And ultimately, I decided that the weight loss mattered more to me than the artificial sweetener. So I did not go back to Diet Coke and Diet Dr. Pepper. I have not had any since that day that I first gave it up. So it's been well over a year now. Now I have added back a few artificially sweetened things. I try to stick to the more natural sweeteners as much as I can and really pick things that are important to me. So for example, I have added back some protein powder a couple times a week. I have a smoothie, a protein smoothie, or I add that to my oatmeal or make like protein pancakes. But by and large, I've really tried to go without artificial sweeteners, and I have not done any pop since that time. So if you are trying to break a Diet Coke or Diet Dr. Pepper or Diet Mountain Dew addiction, let's talk about how you can do that. First, I want to make sure that this is something you really want and need to do. Do these things affect appetite? At least for me, I do believe that it did. However, keep in mind that I did not attempt this process until I had already lost 100 pounds. I had been maintaining that weight for about 14 years, and I was very close to my goal weight. So when women first come to us at Faithful Finish Lines, that's the weight loss program I run together with my business partner, Becky, who's also lost 100 pounds. If they might be, for example, 50, 75, 100 pounds overweight, and they mention to me, well, I really need to give up Diet Coke, what I would recommend to them is maybe not yet. Maybe it's not that big of a deal. It's much more important that you get your calories under control. And all of us only have a certain amount of willpower in each day. And so you really don't want to use up your willpower on something that I think is relatively minor when you've got this big major thing that you need to focus on first. So do you need to give up Diet Coke or Diet Dr. Pepper or, Diet Pepsi? Maybe, but maybe not. That decision is up to you and your doctor, but I just want you to know that it's absolutely possible to lose weight without giving up those things. But if you've decided that now is the time and you do want to give up Diet Pop, you've got two methods that you can go with. You can go with the gradual method or you can go with the cold turkey. And I'm going to talk to you about both. Now, my business partner, Becky, she actually did give up diet soft drinks long before I did. And she used a gradual method. So she's given me permission to share a little bit of her story here. And I'll put a link to it below this video also. But here's how she did it. So she went from like Diet Mountain Dew to Sprite. And then from Sprite, she switched over to lemonade and then Crystal Light. And then from Crystal Light, she used the Mios beverage drops. And then she just went down to plain water. So it was a very gradual process that actually took place over a couple years is how she did it. If you would like to do this gradually, here are some other tips of things that you can try. Don't buy it to bring home. Only have it while you're out. You could try mixing half-half, kind of like Becky did some of that too. Like she started mixing like Mountain Dew with Sprite and then Sprite with lemonade and then lemonade with Crystal Light. You could try buying a brand that you don't really like. Like I mentioned, I didn't ever really like it out of 2 liters. I wanted it from a fountain or from bottles. So maybe if I would have gone the gradual method, I could have tried only buying 2 liters. Or I could have tried buying Diet Pepsi, which I would drink if I had to. But really what I liked was Diet Coke. Try drinking 1 glass of water before every pop that you drink. You could also try only drinking it in a certain time window, like give yourself a boundary around it. Like I'll only have it between 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock in the afternoon or something like that. So those are some ideas if you'd like to try giving it up gradually. I will tell you that gradual didn't tend to work for me. I had tried giving up Diet Pop a number of times by cutting back gradually, and I just would end up drinking more and more of it. Like I'd start with cutting back to just 2, and then the next day it'd be, oh, well, because I'm tired today because the kids got up in the middle of the night, okay, I'm going to have a 3rd one. And then pretty soon I was back to my old habits. So for me, gradual, once I had a taste of it, I just wanted to drink more and more of it. I knew that about myself. So the second option you have is to go cold turkey, which is what I did. And it's not easy, but just like any other, addiction or something like that, sometimes it just has to be done. And I will say that when we talk about Diet Coke addiction, I think that we've developed a very strong taste for it, and our brain has a very strong taste for it. It's not the same as an addiction like drugs or alcohol, but I think we definitely can become dependent on it. So one of the things that I drank when I was in this process of going cold turkey is I made this healthy ginger ale. And it might sound kind of weird, but if it helps somebody else, then I think that's great. So I took plain sparkling water and I put in 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, the healthy apple cider vinegar, and a little shot of fresh lemon juice. And I'm not sure why. It's really, really sour. So you have to really like sour, but I like sour things. And I always had it in a wine glass. And I don't ever drink wine, like alcohol is not really my thing, but just having it in the wine glass somehow made it fancy. So I would have a couple of those in the afternoons, and it just helped me get through that period of time. I don't really do that anymore, but that little healthy ginger ale helped me. Also, having a water bottle with an infuser, and I would put like lemon or cucumber. You can also freeze ice cubes with some of those things in it and put it in your drink. Just the plain sparkling water, like a club soda. Don't get the tonic water that has flavoring in it, but the sparkling water, that helped me because I really just liked the fizzy, and I miss the fizzy. You can also just drink more coffee or tea if those are things. You do also have the option of switching to an artificially flavored water, like a sparkling water. So that would be like ice or bubbly, or there's several others. For me, I didn't go that route because I gave up all artificial sweeteners, and those still have artificial sweetener in them. To me, that's not really much different than drinking pop, but if you're going the gradual method, that might be a way to gradually transition yourself away from soda. But since I was giving up all artificial sweetener, I didn't do that. Now, there are some sparkling drinks now that don't have any artificial sweetener, but they do have some natural flavoring. Polar is a brand that has some of those that I like, and I do have those on occasion. I don't, I could do it. I can have it or I can go without it. It's not something that I crave the way I did pop. My kids will have a drink of it, and they're like, oh gosh, that's not sweet at all, Mom. But again, if you need a little something during the transition, it is an option. Or you could just go cold turkey to water, drink plain water. And we all know that that's super healthy for us. It makes you feel great. It's good for weight loss. So that is definitely always an option. All right, so those are the steps that you can take to give up Diet Coke, Diet Dr. Pepper, Diet Soda, Diet Pop, and the how and the why. So do you need to? Maybe, maybe not. I think it depends on where you are in your weight loss process, in your health and your wellness, and if you feel like you have the extra willpower that you're ready to do it. Will it make a difference for you? I think it might. I think it might make a small difference. If we're talking exclusively about weight loss, managing your calories in a bigger picture way, or points if you're doing Weight Watchers, is more important, but it can have a positive effect. And for me, it did have a positive effect on my appetite so that I did lose a little bit more weight. Once you decide you're going to go for it, you can either use a gradual method like Becky did, or you can go cold turkey like I did. So those are the steps to give up diet soda, the how and the why. I'm Sarah with Faithful Finish Lines. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.